A is for assassin and B is for blade. Let's see what else is on a killer nun's timetable. Welcome and hello everybody. Today I will be talking about Mark Lawrence's Red Sister. This is the first volume in the book of the Ancestor trilogy, and this will be a totally spoiler-free review. Now, in Red Sister, we encounter Nona Gray and we follow her, how she eventually will then join the convent of Sweet Mercy. And that name alone is priceless. I don't know, I just love it. So we have a school setting, so a school novel on some level, but this is a far cry from Hogwarts. This ain't Harry Potter. No, this is very much grown-up fantasy. Even so, Nona is only 9 years of age when we first encounter her, but somehow Mark Lawrence pulls it off that we have a 9-year-old that on the one hand, he gives us this really, child perspective and childlike, encountering the world. But ever so often, Nona has very kind of like grown up, almost philosophical thoughts. And he somehow pulls it off that it doesn't appear that she is precocious or that it's artificial, but it's really believable that Nona can have those thought processes. And when it comes to the convent of Sweet Mercy, it's a well-rendered setting. It, as I say, definitely not Hogwarts. It reminded me more of Umberto Eco's Il nome della rosa, the name of the rose, in its austerity. Kind of like we're having this convent on a rock. It's harsh, it's windy. So it's very well done. It's paired with a dying Earth scenario, so the Earth in general isn't doing too well. Overall, the setting and the atmosphere at times is really harsh, grim, but it's also kind of like written in a style that is really kind of very well done, really wonderful on some level, because we never have the feeling that there are too many words. It's actually very economic. You have the feeling there are exactly the amount of words in this book that they have to be in there. You wouldn't be able to somehow squeeze in an extra one. But we also get those moments where the language really starts to shine and sparkle, where we get really interesting imagery or metaphors where we're like, wow. And this together, this on the one hand, very economic style that lends itself very much to those grimmer, harsher scenes, this austerity that's in the novel at times. And then those really kind of like highlights where it starts to sparkle, where you kind of like think, wow, this is beautiful. Overall, not just the style, but overall, I think this is an extremely well-crafted book. The structure as well is well done. We have mostly a linear narrative, but ever so often this is broken up. And broken up in a really interesting way, so it's not so bang in your face that you have this feeling of non-linear narration. Most of the time you actually don't really notice, and when you notice, it's in those oh wow moments when suddenly kind of like different elements of the story click together, come together, and you're thinking, oh, this is going on. No, so it's really well done on that level as well. The themes that are looked at are mostly about relationships. We're looking especially at friendship, but also kind of like the trope of the chosen one is getting a look in. And what Lawrence does really well is how he, those relationships, those friendships are well observed, and especially the group dynamics are really well observed. And then also kind of like the power dynamics that are going on are very well done. And the same goes for the characters. Nona is really a joy to follow around. She is, a little bit bewildered at times, but most of the time she's feisty, she's a fighter, she's a survivor. And it's really great to encounter her, to follow her. But also the other characters. The characters in this book are outstanding. Nona's classmates in the convent of Sweet Mercy are very memorable. You never have this feeling that you do not know who's speaking or who we are talking about. The characters will definitely stick with you, and the same goes for the nuns that are teaching them. They are equally wonderfully rendered. And another interesting aspect is that those girls, of course, are getting older. And at first I was very skeptical, and I was thinking, how will he pull this off? And I have to say, he pulls it off very well. This easily is a book with the most female characters that I have read in recent times, definitely this year. So this is already kind of like, a bit special, a bit outstanding. But the way how Mark Lawrence kind of like deals with this cast of females is very, very interesting. In general, I think Mark Lawrence is an author who writes very well when it comes to bodily realities. And this we have in this book as well. If Lawrence kind of like writes about pain, you know it hurts, and you know how it hurts, and you know where it hurts. He's extremely good at describing this bodily reality. So when we follow those girls around and their basically combat training, it's well done. It's really well done. The same then goes for other bodies that we encounter. There are not just wounded bodies, but there is also a disabled body, and that's really very well described and presented. And as I said before, I was a bit kind of like apprehensive. How will he deal with those girls getting older? And oh wow, he's not glossing it over, and it really underwrites again that I think Mark Lawrence is well able to imagine a different bodily reality. And I think that's important, especially when we're thinking about books, and I think this book is in that category as well, that try to convey a more universal, I don't want to say truth, but maybe reality about how we are as humans. And if you want to do this, you have to be able as a writer to imagine different realities and also different bodily realities. And that doesn't just go for female and male bodies, but I think that should go for kind of like the whole range of bodily realities that's out there. And I really think that Mark Lawrence pulls this off in an admirable way. So thank you, Mark Lawrence, for that one. Also, thank you, everybody, if you're still watching. And till the next video, happy reading and all the best.